Oh, hello guys, David Vose here. Man, oh man, is it a beautiful day. It seems like they just keep coming now. And there's some clouds, so it was like already hot, like 80 degrees, and then the clouds came over and just made a beautiful day out of everything. And I sat down here and I turned this on, and I don't know how I got here. I was on Facebook. I had to click on something that somebody sent me, and I went to Facebook. I think it was because I was watching my daughter post a video about her staging $1 million homes in Los Angeles, and she goes through the houses. And I watched one of her videos, and then in my feed came this woman. I was the happiest man on the planet, and I was and something happened to me yesterday. A lot of things happened to me. Well, from the moment I got up, there were a lot of things that happened to me. I breathed, the sunshine came, I made a door handle for the greenhouse, whittled it out of some wood, and I was happy, and I was in the garden, did a video. I thought the video was important. I watched my chickens grow, and it was a beautiful day, and that's only just what was running in the background. I mean, the major events of the day were like salvation had come to the earth, like I saw a pillar of light shine down from the sky, and all truth and all understanding and great wisdom was bestowed upon me. I was standing on the cliff loading a video, the one I did yesterday, and it was one of those awe moments. And every time I climbed that cliff behind the house, I looked down off of the mountain on the Continental Divide down over the valley. I see the volcanic mountains in the background, and I can see the 11,000-foot peaks, like 50 miles away in basically all directions, and cliffs and beautiful ponderosas. And it it always has the same effect upon me. I immediately think, what is going on? I am in paradise. And even then, I feel as though something has been done to keep my eyes just a tiny bit shut. Something is happening where I am looking at paradise and experiencing the pleasure of all goodness as it radiates around me and shines upon all creation. And then that radiation just seems to come back and overwhelm me with love and appreciation. And I'm one with all things. And in that moment, I'm just at peace. But when I sort of leave, my body and look down at this little place I call Red Mesa in the Candy Kitchen cliffs and valleys and plateaus of New Mexico, I think, why am I not weeping with joy right now? What, who, who wouldn't be flying? Like, I feel like I'm flying, but I'm just experiencing it. And like I'm baffled at how many blessings there are in the world, and I don't know which one to be thankful for or receive the joy from next. I begin to recount all the blessings. I look at the beautiful place and think, where else would I be? What else could I do that, like, everything I'm doing gives me more joy than anything I could have ever imagined. And it may just be picking up a flower. And I'm like, what? Yesterday I went to go get water at the well, and I saw these red flowers on the trail, and I thought, what? Somebody putting fake flower? I mean, they were so brilliantly red. Redder than any geranium, but bigger. More beautiful and flamboyant and voluptuous than any flower that you could find at a nursery cultivated or in a Universal Studios park or Busch Gardens in Los Angeles or the greatest Chinese gardens of the Grand Emperor. Right there, nestled in a beautiful trail that was magic. Nobody made it on purpose. It just was that way. It was so beautiful. And I thought, what kind of red flowers are growing in front of me in the trail? I've never seen such beauty in my entire life. And it comes from nature. I thought, surely this must be somebody came out here and planted some red flowers. They must be red carnations or something. It was the most. I was just inspired with intrigue, and I walked over there. And when I got there, I couldn't believe these flowers. It baffled my mind to think that such beauty is just everywhere all around. And in that moment again, I just thought, wow, I don't know if I'm worthy of being here. But such it is. And that which is. It is our destiny to be here. And I will embrace it. And I will love it. But I will never be too cocky. I will watch it in humility, because I am only just grateful that it's there. I think that it was always there, but now I see it. And so I was standing at the top of the cliff and looking out over this beautiful view, and I thought, this just takes the cake, right? This is where I want to be. And I don't want to be anywhere else. And I'm so happy. And then I looked down on my garden over the cliff, and I saw the flowers and the things that are growing down there, and the beautiful little dome that my daughter built for me. And my dogs were running around with me. And I thought how precious they are. And my chickens are so beautiful. And I couldn't stop thinking about all the good things, I mean, I couldn't think of anything. For once in my life, I don't think there was one negative that I could even picture, or that I would even dare picture. Like I was all of a sudden in full control. I was on the captain's seat. I was in command. And I knew that this job was so easy, and it was amazing. And it was like a grand secret that I just walked through a door. And all knowledge and all of the universe's benevolence was bubbling up in my heart. I knew that anything that I didn't want was something that I didn't want. And I didn't have to have. And I rejoiced, because all was good. And the good was all. And I am the good. And I am the all. And I'm also the one who gets to perceive the all and to enjoy the all. It's not really an accomplishment, it's a experience. Someone would say, you built the garden. You worked on the porch and put up the cabin. You made that little cozy place to live. And I thought, well, no, not really. I can't think of any possible scenario where I created this. Because I realized at that moment there is no creation. There's no something coming from nothing. There is only that which already is, and it's good. And we don't even have to worry about trying to stabilize all of this goodness and put it all where it ought to be. We've got this secret place that all goodness comes from. It's an infinite realm of pure light that seems to be our own source. And it was like I had found the source. It was there all along. And like I had, you might say somebody gave me a golden key. And it was all in my mind. It was all in the gnosis. It was all in the joy. The more I joyed, the more joy came. The more I realized how wonderful it was, the more wonderful it got. And I counted hundreds of things that were more precious than any amount of gold. And then I added the gold to it because that was precious as well. And I was enamored by the gold. It was beautiful. But I put it in perspective. I said, wow, how beautiful is the gold. Oh, and then look at the dirt. And look at the tree. Wow, how precious. I got caught up in a flower and then I saw a butterfly and I thought, what? I was starstruck by the beauty of these things. That gold didn't have any power. It just gave me joy. But instead of robbing me of joy, it gave me joy because I just allowed it to be. There wasn't any guilt. There wasn't any fear. I saw wealth everywhere, beauty, peace, happiness. I saw it that way. I knew that forevermore it would be that way because I choose that. And I remember like an audible voice within my head as I stood there. And all of this split second of time, I saw my life pass before me and all the goodness that exists. Such a profound, amazing event. And the voice, the message was, the kingdom was born today. It is a healthy, beautiful child. The heir to all this beauty in this world. It was born in a day. They will marvel. There's no going back. There's no stopping this beauty, this empire of truth. The darkness cannot overpower it. The angry cannot overtake the joy. They cannot exist simultaneously. We are everything. So we are either angry or we're joyful. We can never be both. And I remember holding on to a little bit of anger sometimes. I didn't know that it was important. Happy as a little lark driving down the road, and then a thought comes into your mind, some bill you got to pay or some fear that creeps in like a little boogeyman behind the door. And you choose to believe in that. You choose to let it come in and just wreak havoc in your life. But I knew in that moment, the light was switched on, and all the little delusions, those frightening little imposters, those ghouls, and all the little dark, creepy things under the bed and hiding in the holes of the unconscious, unrealized, crazy, delusional possibilities, what ifs, and defeatism, all the despair and all the guilt and hurt that I'd ever felt, it was just released off of my back. It's like I stood there and realized that from this point forward, I was free. I will not be any longer burdened by even a trace of those thoughts and fears. I mean, I had learned about those things, and I had been told that they were evil and they would hurt you and that you shouldn't associate with them. Yeah, these little fiends, right? I knew not to talk to them. I knew not to entertain them because I knew that they were all figments of my imagination. But I guess I hadn't gotten to the point where I realized just how important that was. That was probably the most important thing and the key to all things, whether it's things literal and things figurative and things spiritual, whether it's mundane or holy. I mean, just taking a walk, I realized that I have the right to see the beautiful flowers, the cliffs. I have a right to be in awe of the clouds and the mysterious forms that they take and their loving precipitation. I have the right to see that and appreciate that and worship the divine being all around me. But I hadn't remembered in a while Psalms 100 verse 4. We enter into his gates with thanksgiving. We enter into his courts with praise. I used to think that was a story about King David, walking into the temple, singing on his flute and harp, playing songs. And I often thought he was probably happy because he had just been with Bathsheba and maybe they had just made love. And that was better than all that he had received in this world or in this kingdom. He had a kingdom. He had golden buildings and palatial palaces, and he defeated the 5 Axis lords of the Philistines. He had killed the giant and raised his 40-pound head in the air. And then they cried, "We've won. We've defeated the darkness. We've established peace all over the land." And all of that meant that there would now be peace because Queen Sheba, or Bathsheba, the daughter of Queen Sheba, would be married to him. The wedding would unite the world. The whole world had become one. And they sang songs and celebrated it. It was a wedding. It was literally a wedding, a union. And I thought that is the entire reason for the flower. To give joy. And the only place in the garden or in the world, for that matter, where there is no joy, is where you don't plant the seed. It's a choice. The interesting thing about planting seeds is it's not very difficult. It's just basically like saying, I choose to plant this seed. I mean, if you plant nothing, which no one can do, because that's what we are, we're constantly making a decision to do good or evil. We're constantly making a decision to be happy or sad. We're constantly planting flowers or weeds. You must, in your very existence, be producing something. And up from my innermost being began to flow rivers of living water. They were within me all along, but dammed up in this power that I had that was so powerful and so limitless that I was even able to hold back the rivers of life just because I decided to ponder the concept of maybe I don't deserve life, or maybe I don't, what if I didn't have joy? What if I wasn't happy? What if I couldn't do anything I want? What if I was bound inside of a little room, a little computer chip, and some evil clown was controlling the lever, and I was trapped in this place that I didn't have the lever, that I didn't have the control. I couldn't get out. I didn't have the key. And this evil, wicked person could just bind me there and hold me there forever. And that death itself would be the only savior from that. It was a hopeless place because it was uncertainty, because it was deception. It was a bondage because of a lie. I had the power, I had the desire, I had the will, and I had the need. I think I scared myself. I think I looked at all the beauty and had to think about it for a minute. Do I really love this wonderful, like, just for a moment, is there anything in this world that exists outside of my adventure and my peace, the power of my eternal being to live and to be happy? I am like a monarch. I am like a king or an emperor over a world government. Nay, the whole cosmos must obey. And the birds will sing for me. But they do it because they love me. They're always chirping and singing. The dogs are playing because they're so happy that I'm happy. It makes them happy. And then it makes me happy that they're happy. And, though I am free and have need of nothing, I feel so okay. I've given myself the permission. I realize now that love is a giving and a receiving. And the appreciation that I have for all of their love, the little birds and the trees and the flowers and all the circumstances and every good thing. I appreciate it. And somehow or another, my heart was opened and I was able to give praise from within, not some fake material outer deception or the fringe on the garment that might enamor you. I wasn't enamored by the outer appearance. I was enamored by the inner truth, the reality that it is, that I'm okay, that I'm worthy of receiving all of this love. I don't have to sabotage my happiness. It was born today from the womb of acceptance, from Mother Wisdom, the source of all of my joy. And I thanked her. And I felt as though I've known her all along. I remembered her love. For in the beginning, she was there, the master architect. And she had the power of love and the power of grace and goodness. But she was veiled. Because she was so beautiful, she was veiled. It was like you can't just take it all in. She's too darn beautiful. And it's beyond beautiful. But you can't just know her beauty all at once, like in a flash. You want to go slow. You want to feel everything. You want to know every part. You want it to be a surprise. So she's all wrapped in white. She's beautiful. She's as pure as the morning sun. She's as soft as a goose down pillow or the flowing swells of the river as it surrounds you and guides you delicately down the river over some boulders, almost like a little natural slide, just to sort of make you feel happy and give it a little adventure, some motion. And all the while you see the flowers on the bank and the green grass and the trees and the mountain peaks. You're in mother's arms. She's only beauty. She's only good. She's only wisdom. She's only truth. You're in her arms. She will never let you go. Because she is one with Father Heaven. Together they control the air and the earth, the future and the past, the heart and the thoughts and the will. They're all in harmony. They all want love. They all want peace. And they live in the home that they build, in the heights and in the little beautiful pockets of beauty on earth. Every step is an adventure. And we can be certain that everything is for good. And we can just rest in that peace. And know that from this day forward, the little voice within me said, the woman has been crowned with 12 stars. She's shining and glorified in the sun. And she's given birth to a child that is the heir of all of this. We're the heir. This is why it's all here. That's why the birdies sing. Because they are the spirit of this world. They're the melody. And they sing beautiful songs, and the flowers and the trees and the mountains paint beautiful pictures for us. And everything that we need when we're hungry, we reach out and it's provided for us. There's certainly a place to lay your head, you know. There's an herb for anything that you may need. There's succulent fruit and nuts, berries hanging on the trees, and flowers to dazzle your mind. But all of it can't exist without the giver of all this good. And the giver of all this good is through the veil. You've got to reunite with your soulmate. It's like going home again and being safe together in each other's arms. There isn't one without the other. We don't know where one ends and the other one begins, because it is an endless round, an infinite spiraling journey of ever growing, ever building up, and in a kind of symphony, like one note, another color, something else dazzling your mind, but they're just coming, and each one joining in the orchestra of amazing, all coming from the source of the mind and the will. As you speak it, so shall it be. As you see it, so will it exist. We're seeing and experiencing ourselves and sharing ourselves with others so that we can know ourselves in them and they can know themselves in us. And we do that with everything around us, the little sparrows, the squirrels, the beautiful eagles, the wolf on the hill, the buck in the trail, the little butterflies on the flowers, and little beetles through the garden. I've got some beautiful little lizard and salamanders and creatures that are in the garden, and they just all come to share. The little birds come down, they come to share. They're all in complete harmony. There's a place for everyone there. And they all keep giving to each other, and they all have so much. And I realized that that was the source of my joy, the creation, the desire, the wisdom, the happiness that just came from this union. And then I saw this picture, this little video, and I'm remembering what I experienced yesterday, and I carried it with me all the way through that evening. Had the most wonderful evening I've ever experienced in my life. And she was every bit divine. I'd heard about this divine beauty, but I was experiencing her. It was a divine communion that sealed every hope and promise with a kiss. And it wasn't just that I was okay. It was that everyone in this earth and in the universe is okay. I think it's begun. I think that in the deepest, darkest place, the light always shines. And the light is more beautiful when you first notice it. And sometimes we want to go slow, like I say, and build up to that orgasm, because the experience is all of the beauty. It's all of the goodness. It's all of the joy we're seeking is to experience it, to take our time, to suck every sweetness out of that melon, and to remember each moment and every memory, to not let them just pass without noticing them. We take our time and we find out that that's what life is. And there is nothing else to pursue but that joy. And that joy is eternal and grows greater and greater every day. I'm no longer entertaining doubt. I think it's gone. I choose to not even think about that anymore. I don't know that I need to even say anymore. I'm over it. And like, I've been completely saved. And I realized when I experienced salvation that I had it all along. And that even made me happy. It made me happy because I've been with this joy. I watched this flower bloom for all eternity. It just keeps providing the goodness. And I see this young woman, and I remembered the happiness and the joy, and then I found myself crying. I started to just feel such love and compassion. And I said, Lord, please show this person. Give her the knowledge that you gave me. She must have agreed when she came to this world to experience this, because somehow she wanted to, for a moment, go down into the depths of this depraved, evil deception and all this pain, and wreathe in the grass and experience this pain. It made me glad in the end, because I could see on the woman's face that she had already experienced most of the pain. She was on the road to a revelation. I knew it. I knew it. And I knew that what this person was experiencing was going to lead her to a place of absolute bliss. I had absolute confidence of that. You know, It's like going through all the work of building a house, just all the pain and the hard work and the thumbnails that you lose when you smash your thumb with a hammer, the struggle, the effort, but it's all for a purpose. You're building your home. You're being creative. All of it is provided, all the little pieces. I'm sad that more people hadn't found the light and hadn't run around and told everybody else about the light. It seemed like so many people were experiencing this darkness. It made me think, why? What is going on where all these humans are suffering so deeply? And I realized it was because there was coming a moment of revelation. It was all being sped up. Like we spent thousands of years maybe just sitting alone on a mountain in the snow, watching a caribou go down the hill. Or maybe a bunch of wolves ripping a poor fawn apart, the blood covering the hills in the snow, and the big buck standing on the cliff overlooking everything, proud with his horns straight up. He snorts, raises one foot, sort of prances. He takes one last gaze before he turns around and heads the other way, off into this cold winter night somewhere in the edge of the tundra. What will his life be like now? Maybe he'll spend some time completely alone, wandering around in the ice, just maybe even going in circles, holding on to her memory. But at some point, he'll lie down in the snow and give in to all of it. And experience the acceptance. He just sort of is comforted, and deep within himself, he has this intuition. He goes forward. One day he will return as an eagle and fly far above it all. And someday he will be born into the world as the most amazing farmer. Learning all and remembering all of the lessons that he had had, and realizing that each one was a lesson that brought him closer to what he had now. Standing straight and tall with his chest out, there on the cliff. There in the symphony, the orchestra. Parts of the song were still toning, were swells of beautiful, melodious stringed instruments and violins. There were at times notes that seemed almost out of place, but they were exactly where they should have been. It was like being raised up to the top of a cliff and having the experience of flying. It didn't seem to fit. One minute you're on the top of the mountain, the next minute you're flying like an eagle. But it was that jump, that different note that came along that was so different that you experienced that sort of gave you the giggle and the joy. It strengthened your wings. It gave you more confidence. This kept going And I think all men are here. I think this is the Aryan race, the Orion that's coming up over the horizon. This is the kingdom of the coming age. It's being born right now. In the hearts of those who see it and sense it and know it, it's already been born. And the light that's in these individuals, we will shine that light. Nothing will stop us now. And the light is so beautiful. And it seems like nature and the circumstance of the universe has just played it completely on cue. Like, it's like you get that one hand, that poker hand that beats them all. But it's not a game of chance. The cards were stacked. They were made to express every sentiment and every fortune. There's diamonds and clubs and spades, and there's hearts. And the Queen of Hearts is the queen of all. She watches over all of her children. But every card has its place, and each card must be played. It takes all of the cards to make a deck, and all of the suits are there, and every season, and all of the gifts will come, and you'll go through the classroom and experience every aspect of it. And it's like we're all here. And it's this big symphony going on of complete awakening. Yes, I say many times that I don't think a lot of people really awake right now. They're really being deceived. That's the whole thing. The great apostasy has arrived. But what is it for, this great wicked thing that we're experiencing? Why are they parading all this evil? And why does this young woman have to suffer like this? I didn't want her to suffer. And it made me mad for a second. It made me sad. It brought me to tears. But then I understood that it was the last little ways. And maybe some of them are crawling, but they're going to make it over that line. All of them. The awakening will happen through this great fiasco that we're about to go through, because the time of the end will be the end of the world. What? The end of the world? This order of things, this classroom, the end of this age. Well, what's the point? The harvest is the end of the age. It's a time of bringing in all the fruit that we have grown, all the lessons that we've went through will come to fruition. Everyone is being shown and is being sped up right now. Knowledge is increased. And the goal is the rapture, which I don't know why people don't understand. It has nothing to do with being taken up in your body. The word rapture, we use it today. It's a you're raptured in love. Love is what gives you the rapture. Another word is an orgasm. This is all about a wedding. That's what the whole book of Revelation is about. And this grand wedding, this union is coming. But what is this Antichrist for? What is this time of evil and trouble for? What is this temptation for? Well, it tells you. It says that the man of sin must be revealed before the coming of Christ. Because we cannot receive the light until we have had the revelation of the darkness. The man of sin, the evil liar, who's taken up residency in this temple and says, I am God and there is none else, and you will bow down and worship me, is a fool. He deserves no respect. He's a figment of your imagination, but he must be revealed in you in order for the Christ to be revealed in you. But don't worry, because the Christ has already been born. And nothing can stop the light. The enlightenment will come. And the joy that we will experience in Christ, in that rapture, no ear hath ever heard, no eyes have ever seen. There is no mind that's ever conceived this. It is going to be a revelation, an uncovering, an unveiling of such magnitude that all of this dark night that we've been wandering through will seem like, the silliest, forgotten memories. We won't even think about it anymore. It'll be like we'll take all those pains and all those tears and throw them into a dark, dark, deep abyss where you might say that represents the bottomless pit of forgetfulness. It's the disintegration of purpose. Thoughts that will not have any purpose, that don't fulfill, will be gone, because it's like having the thought of what is something. What is that? Maybe I don't know what that is. I'm uncertain. And then experiencing it and touching it and having that rapture, and then you no longer are afraid because you're one. You've known it. You've understood it. You've achieved it. And the unknowing cannot come back. Only the knowing persists. And that's the rapture that we're going to have. But there are those that are receiving the rapture now. The kingdom is being born. And during the Great Tribulation, the wrath that will be filleting upon all men, the shock of it all, will disturb us. But how could it really disturb you? It's a light on a hill. It's a beacon for all to see. One by one, these souls that are wreathing around in this pain, not fully and completely yet sure of why they're wreathing around in this pain, but they keep going. They don't give up because they know that somewhere there's a meaning, and they're trying to find that meaning. And this last dark episode is going to expose the nothingness of all of this pain. It will give us the conviction and the knowledge to turn away from it, to not believe in it anymore. It will no longer have any power over us, because we will know the truth, and the truth will set us free. This glorious day is coming for everyone. But for you, O great one, O awakened soul, the most beautiful bride dressed in white, pure as a summer's day, shining in the glory of the sun, crowned with all the stars. And for me, it is already done. And there is no turning back. There's just heavenly bliss ahead. It is truly the most beautiful thing. And I tell you this with conviction, friends. It is already begun. There is already in this world that precious seed. It is a miracle, friends. It grows by itself. The rain will come down and the sun will come out, and it will grow into a beautiful tree that all the animals and flowers and all of nature will take refuge under its branches, and the birds will nest in its treetop, and we'll all find a home in this ecological miracle that will appear because we were able to accept with faith and plant the seeds that were good. Some of you probably think that this video was just me rambling on about some poetry, but none of this was poetry. This was thoughts from my heart. This was a revelation. This is the first day of the rest of my life. And for some reason, I know that there's one of you that knows it as I know it. And we're about to take that journey, that celestial, phantasmal kaleidoscope and symphony of joyous, rapturous, melodious notes and colors and shapes and textures and tastes, and smells and tingling sensations. Sporadic outbursts of tears of joy. An orgasm so great that it will produce the kingdom and the child will be born from that miracle, from that joy, from that union, from that finally getting the understanding, following our mother Eve, who was initiated into this maze, eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that she might become like or as deity. The journey begun then. Our mother has already experienced it all and learned it all. And now she beckons us to follow. I'm going to go ahead and go, guys. It's a beautiful day. The Lord loves you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.